All right, why don't we get started? Um, my name is Kim. I work in the Student Life Office at North Country Community College, and I have a few of my colleagues with me here today who are going to cover some of the content during our session. We're glad you're here, and while we get started, we would love to have you write in the chat who you are, what campus you're attending, or if you're a fully online student and you'd like to share, and also what questions you're hoping to have answered during today's virtual orientation. We'll make sure we get to your questions throughout the presentation. So welcome to North Country. First and foremost, one of the most important announcements we want to make sure everyone is clear on is our COVID-19 protocols for the fall of 2022. So if you haven't heard yet, and hopefully this is not news to you, all students who are living on campus, participating in college athletics, or attending even one class on campus do need to be vaccinated. This is a SUNY requirement. And what fully vaccinated means is having either the 1 dose of Janssen or the 2 doses of Moderna and Pfizer. So at this time, being vaccinated is a requirement. Boosted is not a requirement, but is strongly encouraged. If you are a fully online student and you plan to access our campus services that we're going to be talking about today during the session, if you plan to access our campus resources and services once a week or more, we do also require that you be vaccinated against COVID-19. If you're an unvaccinated online student and you're going to be visiting the campus infrequently, and we're defining that as less than once a week, then we have a form that we'll have you fill out and a log that we'll have you use so that we can monitor your campus access. And that way, in the event of a COVID-19 infection, we would be able to contact trace appropriately. So does anybody on the call have any questions that are coming to mind right now about the COVID-19 protocols for the fall? And Sarah and Ange, if you wouldn't mind monitoring the chat for me while I'm presenting the slides. And if you have not already submitted your COVID-19 vaccination card, you can email that to healthrecords@nccc.edu. Or if you need a fax number, you can reach out and we'll give you that fax number. All of your immunization records can be sent to Health Records, and that includes your MMR and your meningitis or your declination of meningitis. This slide is taken directly from our website, and again, it covers some of the things I've already talked about, but I just wanted to put verbatim what our COVID-19 website will include the updates and any changes that may occur. And I want to emphasize that there may be changes as the pandemic evolves. We may be asked to put another mandate in place, or we may be able to lift mandates that are currently in place. So be prepared for changing expectations around COVID-19 safety protocols. Okay, this slide is I'm going to turn it over to our Vice President of Academic Affairs to introduce herself. And then we also have a colleague here from our library services who will speak a little bit about those resources and tools. So Sarah, thank you for being here today.
Sure, I'm happy to be here and get to meet new students or maybe some returning students. Hello, everyone. As Kim pointed out, I'm Sarah Maroon. I'm the interim vice president for academic affairs. So anything related to your coursework and your experience in the academic area would be under the academic affairs office. And I know that we're covering a lot of ground in these orientations. And so in thinking about what I really want you to remember, it would be a couple of simple things. We really aim to help students be successful in your classes, and that is our really our whole goal. And so there are a couple of things that you can do as a student when we're moving through that process, so that we can work together for you to accomplish those goals. So in designing the slide, Kim aptly put the Learning Assistance Center in the library at the top of the list because those are very helpful places for you to know about as students. I will leave the library discussion to Brian, but I'll go ahead and cover the Learning Assistance Centers. On all three campuses, Malone, Saranac Lake, and Ticonderoga, we have what you will hear termed as LACs, and that's just the acronym for a Learning Assistance Center. And in those spaces, we have all sorts of help available for you as a student. And so often students are reluctant to go to the Learning Assistance Center to ask for help. But what I always like to remind students is that often those that are doing the best in their classes are actually at the LAC, either studying, getting some extra help to make sure that they keep their GPA up there. And what's available in there is help with tutoring in specific subjects. We have free tutoring. We also do remote tutoring. So if you're an online student and you're not coming to campus for your classes, or you're hoping to limit your time on campus, we do have remote tutoring available through the Learning Assistance Center. We also have some evening hours available for tutoring. So any subjects you're struggling with or you've struggled with in the past, it might be a good idea to sign up for tutoring right from the get-go at the beginning of the semester to make sure you get that help earlier than later. What happens if students wait is it's much harder to catch up. So that's a really helpful place for course-specific tutoring. The other thing that the Learning Assistance Center can be very helpful with is organization, time management, discipline, all those things that can affect us, not because we don't understand the material, but we might not be organizing ourselves well enough to make sure we're keeping up with assignments. Any help that you need accessing your class or understanding how Blackboard works, that sort of thing, we do have orientations for those things. However, if you just are looking for somebody to sit down with you and go over that, the LAC is an excellent place to start. So highly recommend it. And again, it's both remote and on any of the three campuses. So I'll move on down to some faculty expectations and syllabus information, office hours. Every course that you take at North Country will start with a syllabus, and you should receive that very early on in the course. Usually it's up, if not before classes start, it's up the first day. And while they may look very similar, there's often differences among your syllabus. And so you want to pay attention to what each faculty member's expectations are. So everyone teaches a little bit differently. Everyone has different rules. And so what you want to be careful about is not reading one syllabus and assuming that what's in one class is applicable to another class. So make sure you read through those and understand due dates, expectations about how to submit assignments. There's often a course schedule, so you'll know what topics you're covering in which week. And so just go through those for all of your classes. And then the other important information that you'll find on the syllabus is the faculty members' office hours. And faculty member are either available in their office during those hours, or they will have a remote office hour where they're available live, just like we're doing now in a virtual setting, and you can ask questions at that time. I taught for many years and would always hope that students would come to my office hours because it was a great time for us to get to know each other a little better, and I could explain some of those things that I know students sometimes struggle with. So don't be afraid to reach out and schedule an appointment during an office hour. That's what we're here for, and that's what we like to do. So I'd encourage you, if you're struggling with anything or you just like to ask some questions, please contact your instructor and make an appointment during those office hours. Accommodative services. We do provide accommodations for students who have some learning needs that may be a little bit different, and they're documented. So for those of you who may have had an IEP in high school, you may be eligible to continue those accommodations in your college career. And Cami Sheridan is our ADA 504 coordinator. So if you think you might want to use accommodations that you've had in the past, please make sure you get in touch with Cami as soon as possible. She can make sure that you have the paperwork in order for us to provide those accommodations. We can't provide them without that paperwork. And so the earlier you do that, the better. Even if you choose not to use them, it's better to have them in place at the beginning of the semester. And you can opt out of using them if you choose. But I would make sure that you, if that is something that would be helpful for you, I would do that as soon as possible. Moving on, the academic integrity policy is also important for you to be aware of. And we have a 2-page policy that you can find on our website. I'll just in short tell you the main points of that. Do your own work, both when you're in a testing situation and when you're in a project or a paper writing situation. One of the ways students find themselves in trouble is learning how to document correctly. If they're writing a research paper, make sure that you understand how to give credit to where you got your information, or perhaps where you got the language that you're using in your paper. So don't plagiarize, and make sure that you're doing all of your own work in your classes. We take academic integrity really serious, and it's hard to sometimes dig out of a hole. Often the penalty might be a 0 for the assignment, or it may be failure of the course, depending on the level of severity of the cheating. So review that academic integrity policy and go to the Learning Assistance Center if you have questions about what any of those parameters mean in that policy. And then lastly, we have an academic calendar, which will tell you when we're in session and when we're not. And that can be helpful if you're planning vacations. For the fall semester, we start classes next Monday. And if you go up on our website, again, under academic, you'll see the academic calendar is the very first tab underneath academics. So we have the Monday of Labor Day off, and then we have one day in October. It's a mid-semester break, and then some days off in Thanksgiving. And the other important date to keep in mind there is the final exam week. Try to make sure that you don't plan to leave campus before your final exams are completed. Instructors expect that you'll be there until the end of the semester, and often the final exam is the very last thing that you're going to do. So just take a look at that calendar, make sure that if you're going to miss any days, you get in touch with your instructor as soon as possible. There'll be a registration for the spring semester that will notify you about sometime in November. The last piece that I'll leave you with is communication is the key to your success. So if you have questions, reach out via email, phone. If you are struggling, also reach out and keep the lines of communication open with your faculty members. Faculty tend to be pretty understanding, but you have to communicate with them. They're not mind readers. We don't know what everybody else might be struggling with. And so we try to keep consistency in things like due dates. But if there's an issue that you are anticipating, please make sure that you're just talking with your instructors as much as possible. So, and you now know what I look like. You'll be getting an email from me the first day of classes. So you'll have my email address. And you can always find me through the Academic Affairs Office. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you, Sarah. And Brian, would you like to go next, talk about the library services?
Yes, thank you, Kim. And I'm Brian O'Connor. I'm the library director. And as Sarah said, I'll be reaching out to you directly too. Oh, I had to say hi to Takesha and Shali. Okay, hello there. Like the LAC, Learning Assistance Center and Library are related and similar but different. At any rate, they're I don't know if you're at Saranac Lake campus. Ty and Malone, the library and the LAC are next door to each other. At Saranac Lake, the library is a separate building up on the hill. But please get up there. You may have a class up there. We have a classroom up there. Some classes are scheduled there. But if you don't have a class, come on up anyway and come up and meet us. It's a great place to relax. You can do your own personal email. It doesn't have to just be your college assignments. You can come up there. If you nap, don't snore, please. That's why I'm not allowed to nap up there. But it's a good place to relax in between classes and so forth. But the main thing is, please feel free to contact me at any time when you need help. Not tutoring, that's the LAC, especially math, because I need help with that sometimes myself. Writing, I can help you with a bit, but that's really more their specialty. My specialty will be helping you do your research, find sources for all kinds of assignments, not just research papers. You won't do that many of those, but you will do some research assignments. And when they talk about a peer-reviewed article and you don't pump your hand up and ask, come and ask me for help. I can help you find these things, both in our databases or in print. We've got a heck of a print collection, but more and more, of course, stuff is online. So I can really help you with that. Sometimes instructors assume you've done this stuff in high school. Sometimes you have, sometimes you haven't. So, but I can help you do that. Another thing I think Sarah brought up that's very important is academic integrity, doing your citations, giving credit where credit's due. Even if you change all the words, give credit where credit's due. For one thing, your instructors love it when you go dig stuff up. They don't expect you to pull it out of your head. So they really want you to give credit where credit's due. Otherwise, you're plagiarizing, which is basically a nice academic word for stealing, and we don't like that. So we don't want you to do that. When in doubt, again, ask me, and I'll reach out to you. But my email will be just boconnor@nccc.edu. And I can help you. Sometimes it's easier over the phone. If you can't get to me in person, either in Ty or Malone or at Saranac Lake. But again, don't hesitate. I know there's a lot of stuff coming at you now, but try to keep up with your assignments. A lot of your instructors will keep after you to start the steps to get that research assignment done, because there's steps to take. You don't want to start at the end of the term. And at any point, again, I can help you with those steps. Anyway, welcome to North Country, and I'm glad to have a chance to talk to you. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Brian. And I also wondered if you wanted to explain the Ask Us 24/7 service that, that we're a part of, just briefly, just so people can be aware of that service.
Right. I'll give you the link for that. I'll send that to you, and I'll also have it on our website, of course. But a good point, Kim. Thank you. When you can't find me on the weekend or at night or whatever, we have a service called Ask Us 24/7. And you won't talk to me probably. I do a couple hours duty on it. It's like almost a worldwide. I mean, heck, I deal with students from the UK and California and Florida and so forth. And you may get a librarian from California or Florida, but they will be able to help you because we're all trained basically the same way. And they will link up to our library website, and they know what resources we have. So they will turn you to those. And again, whatever they can't help you with, they'll probably refer you on to me. So by the way, when you use that Ask Us 24/7, give them a contact, give them an email. We'll be careful with your email. We won't throw it about. So don't worry about privacy, but do give them a contact for follow-up. Because a lot of times the librarians will say, hey, Brian, I think they need a little more help. Why don't you contact them? So please remember that. It'll be Ask Us 24/7. It's like, I think about 3 o'clock in the morning, you may not get help, but probably between about 2 and 5 will be about it. Otherwise, we're wide open to help you. Again, thanks, Kim.
Thanks, Brian. Excellent. So another thing I wanted to talk about, or Sarah, if you would like to talk about the student schedule. I know there are lots of frequently asked questions about some of the abbreviations and acronyms we use. Sarah, do you want me to cover this, or would you like to?
I'm happy to cover it, Kim.
Okay, go for it. It's all yours.
Sure. Thanks. So with 3 campuses and then an online option, and then we actually added a few for COVID, this schedule can be a little bit confusing. So we did put a key up on the website, and that's where a lot of this information came from. I'll just briefly go down through the list and let you know where everything is depending on section letters. So let's say you have an English 101 class. After the English 101, you're going to see a letter, and sometimes a letter and a number. So let's say it's English 101A or English 101B. That's a Saranac Lake campus class that meets on campus. So the A through G letters are Saranac Lake, and it's a face-to-face class. So you're expected to be on campus for that class meeting. If there's an H in front of it, it means that it's hybrid. So instead of meeting twice per week or 3 times per week, these classes often meet once per week. And then there's a little bit heavier online component to make up for the missed class time. And so there's quite a few hybrid classes. So if, again, going back to the English example, it'd be English 101 HA, and that course would meet once per week. HSMRMT is where we have our courses over at Akwesasne, and the SRMT stands for the St. Regis Mohawk Tribe, and those are in the administration building. So for those of you who might be joining us from Akwesasne, there are 4 courses that are scheduled for the fall semester that you can take right there at the tribal administration building. M through S is the same as A through G, but in Malone. So anything with those letters will be meeting on campus in Malone. And likewise in Ticonderoga, the T and the U are face-to-face sections in Ticonderoga. So the next 2 can be confusing at times. V stands for live online. So this is a new designation that came with COVID. And what it means is that you don't have to physically be on campus, but you are expected to Zoom in live, just like we're doing now, for those class periods. So if you see a V, you'll also see the live online on the schedule. And that means, you know, log in at 11 o'clock or whatever time your class is, and you'll have your instructor broadcasting that live. And that gives you an opportunity to ask questions that you wouldn't be able to do in live time on a completely online class. Z and ZZ, or at times ZZZ, if it's a 3rd section of an online class. Those are all online distance learning, and there's no particular time that you're expected to be in a lecture section, but you are expected to do your work on a particular schedule. And so online doesn't mean you can do the work at any point during the semester. There are particular due dates each week, so make sure you're keeping up with those. However, when you choose to do that work is entirely up to you within the time frame of your due dates. Couple of other quick ones on here. 1, if there's a 1 after it, it means it's a quarter course. So it meets for half of the semester, and it's the first half. If it's a 2, it meets the second half. There is not less work in those quarter courses. It's the same material. It's just condensed into half the time frame in the semester. For some students, that works really well. You can focus in and really get a lot done in a shorter period of time. For other students, a full semester is a better option for that course. So those are the schedule designations in short.
You want to take this slide too, Sarah?
Sure. So
Thank you.
there are also particular classrooms on each campus. In Saranac Lake, we have a couple of different buildings. You'll see Claremont Hall. That is designated by a CL. That's our nursing building. And so many of you, if you're in the nursing program, almost all of your classes are going to be in Claremont. For those of you not in the nursing program, you may not be in Claremont at all. Gymnasium, we have gym as the designation. Hodson Hall is the administrative building, but we do have a couple of classrooms in Hodson Hall, and that's an HH abbreviation. There is a classroom in the library, and so you'll see that, LIBR. And then McCormick Hall and Mulholland Hall, those are all located in the same building, in the connector building on the Saranac Lake campus. The S stands for the science wing. So all of the science labs will have an S in front of them. And then C is the classroom building. So you'll see there's a C in front of those. And the science wing is up above the connector. And then if you go down the stairs, you'll see the C wing is down below the connector. If you're taking a pottery class, you will see the pottery clinic is behind Hodson Hall, in between Hodson Hall and Claremont. And then RSH is River Street Hall. That is down the hill quite a ways. So give yourself time to get there. That is over by NBT Bank. Excuse me. The Saranac Lake campus has more buildings than the other campuses. So Malone's a little bit easier to remember. There are 2 buildings in Malone. If you're facing the campus from the parking lot, the building to the left is Ballard Mill, and that's BM. The building to the right is Reshikina Hall, and that is an RH designation. And then in Ticonderoga, all the classrooms that are in the 100, so 114 is on the bottom floor, and then the 200 level are on the 2nd floor. And that's the only complicating factor in Ticonderoga.
Thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome.
And so we hope that if you have not yet had a chance to come to one of our campuses and you are planning to take classes on campus or use the services that we have available, even for our online students, we hope that you will swing by this week. We have, you are welcome to walk about on your own and locate your classrooms, or ask someone if they can give you a quick tour. Many of our employees would be more than willing to stop what they're doing to help you find what you're looking for. And so if you are new to any of our campus locations, we hope that you will swing by and give yourself that assurance of being able to navigate the physical campus spaces before classes start. So you're more than welcome to come by. The Saranac Lake campus is a little bit spread out. If you're not familiar with the Saranac Lake campus, some of the buildings that Sarah was just referencing are on this map, Hodson Hall being that first big building, that administrative building that you see when you drive up, Claremont being another one of the first buildings that you come across. That pottery building is right here. If you can see, I'm hoping you can see where my arrow is pointing. The library building is right between the big parking lot and our U-shaped building that includes that science wing, the connector where our dining services are located, and the classroom wing. The gym is down the hill and can be accessed from the other road. And then if you live on campus, we have our residence halls down here in the right-hand corner. This map is available online. We also have our Malone campus, and as Sarah shared, far fewer buildings to navigate. When you come to the main parking lot, Reshikina is on the right and Ballard Mill would be on your left. And then Ticonderoga is a singular building with 2 floors. Any questions about our physical campus locations or understanding your schedule? And feel free to type it into the chat if you don't want to share out loud. All right, well, our next slide is going to overview technology at the college. By now, each of you should have a student email account, and our student email accounts are your first name, dot your last name at students.nccc.edu. And your credentials to log into that account are sent to the email address you use when you first apply to the college. So your personal email account will get those credentials for your first login. And that credential is what you would use to access the student portal, where you can find your schedule and as well as your student bill and your financial aid award letter. Those are things that I hope you have all navigated to already, but if for whatever reason you are still in need of assistance accessing any of your student email or the portal, feel free to stay on at the end of this call and we can sort out individually how to help you out. Blackboard is that online learning management platform that all classes will be assigned a Blackboard space. If you're learning fully online or taking an online class, Blackboard is where much of that content will exist, unless the instructor is using some type of third-party digital textbook or learning space like Cengage is a common one used by our business faculty. And that information will be in your syllabus. But Blackboard is also set up for face-to-face classes, and often faculty will use that space to supplement the course or to accept assignments through there or have supporting documentation and information for the class. And then, of course, our help desk is available if you need assistance with any of your technology. But please let us know at the end of this call because we want to make sure that you are all set before classes begin at the end of August. Anyone have any questions right now about technology that you want to share? Okay. A couple of apps that we think would be really important for you to download if you haven't already. Your Outlook, either just the email app in the blue there, or you can download the Office 365 app, which would give you access to not only your email, but all of the Office 365 components, I suppose. Your email, your student email is an Office 365 access point. So you do have access to Microsoft Word and Excel and other things like that online, if that's useful to you. The blue box with the pencil here is the Blackboard app, and that can be useful for reviewing content or seeing announcements for the class. It's not necessarily going to be as useful for submitting work, but it can be a way to view content that's in the course shell. And then again, I just mentioned Cengage, which is a common third-party platform used by our business department. Colleagues on the call, have I missed any other apps that you think are important for new students to be aware of?
No, I think you're good.
Okay, thanks. Okay, Ange, do you want to take this slide? Are you available to talk about the association? Would you like me to?
I can do it.
Great.
Hello, everyone. My name is Angela. I'm the Assistant Director of Student Life, as well as the Director of Residence Life and Housing. Our association is closely connected with the college. They oversee the bookstore, food service, and housing. We have bookstores on both the Saranac Lake and the Malone campuses, as well as pop-up bookstores, and we have stuff shipped frequently to the Ticonderoga campus. In addition to the physical in-person bookstores, we also have a virtual bookstore online where you can order your items there and have them shipped or sent to a campus and or shipped directly to you at your home address. We also have food service specifically on the Saranac Lake campus. All of our residence hall students are required to have a meal plan, and we are offering commuter meal plans this year as well, so be on the lookout for that. If you would like additional information, please go to nccc.edu/dining. Our campus that has housing is the Saranac Lake campus. It houses anywhere from 96 to 125 students, depending on room setup and capacity. We offer 3 different types of housing. We have a standard size room, a premium single, which is a larger single, and we also have double rooms available where 2 individuals live in the same bedroom space. Each of those rooms are in a 4-person suite, and they share a common area that has kind of a living room and a gully kitchen with a sink, cupboard, and microwave, and a mini fridge. And then on all of our campuses, we do offer vending machine possibilities. So be on the lookout for those. If you're ever looking at a vending machine and you're like, I really want smart food, but we ran out in a day, let us know, and we will work with the vendor to ensure that we have additional options and or switch things up every once in a while. And you can always go on our website through North Country and look at the association information there.
Thank you, Ange. Let's see, I think the next slide might be you as well. Yes, it is.
All right. So I want to encourage each and every one of you on this call to find your voice, find your passion, and get involved on your campus or our campuses. So we have our Student Government Association, and this is a student-led group. Everyone is voted in and or appointed to their positions. Our student government oversees all 3 of our campuses, so our representatives can be on any of our campuses and or be a fully distance learning student. We don't limit it to you have to be from this campus or that campus. It's anyone is welcome to run, apply, and or be appointed. It's a really great leadership opportunity where you will have experience working with other shared governance groups within the North Country community, such as the Senate, and the association. We do have clubs and organizations. We have academic clubs as well as social and educational clubs and service clubs. So get involved on your campus. If you see something that you're like, you know what, I want to try that out, environmental club or outing club. If you're in a specific academic program, say nursing, massage therapy, rad tech, get involved in those, fundraise, learn how to give back to the communities. But if there's something that we don't offer that you're really interested in and you would like to see us offer it, let's say you're like, I'm really into paintballing. I want to start a paintball club. Awesome. Come and talk to me. I will help you get that set up. We'll find you an advisor. We'll really make things happen this year because we want to see our students engaged. The next thing on the list is activities on campus. So we offer activities both virtually as well as face-to-face on all of our campuses. So you will be getting emails and information about these are different ways to get involved, not only on your campus, but also virtually, and they are open to any and all students who pay the student activity fee. Then we have civic engagement and community service. We offer opportunities for our students to get involved both locally, regionally, and nationally in service. And so we do that working with local organizations like the Ronald McDonald House or Habitat for Humanity or the youth centers within the communities. But we also go on trips every year for 7 to 10 days. We will be doing one during spring break this year for students who are interested in that. And we'll also be doing one that starts a few days after graduation for our students who maybe are unable to do it during spring break. And during those trips, we will go and we'll work with the national and international organizations to really give back. And that can be anywhere in the United States and or internationally. Our destinations are unknown at this time, but as soon as I know and I have a better idea, everyone else will know as well. And then the last way to really get engaged is through our College Senate and committees. So we have something called shared governance, where we like to make sure that everyone's voice is heard and everyone has a say in what we're doing, especially when policy and procedure directly impacts our student population. And so we have seats on every committee, on the College Senate, on the association, on any group or committee that you're interested in. We want you to be a part of it because it's better for us to hear it from you guys as well as from our faculty and staff. So we will be doing a club and engagement fair on every single campus within the first 3 weeks of classes. So make sure to stop by, say hi to me. I'll either have cotton candy, snow cones, or popcorn, or a combination, as well as other giveaways, and sign up to be engaged this year.
Awesome. Can't wait. Thank you, Ange. Okay. We're going to segue to another important topic, and that is campus safety. And one of the things I want to emphasize about campus safety is it's more than what people might think in terms of the physical infrastructure of a campus, or the presence of security guards or that sort of thing. Campus safety comes down to all of us being aware of our surroundings, being committed to reporting things that don't look right, don't feel right, and empowering each other and those of us who work at the college to enforce the rules and policies that are there to ensure that your learning experience is safe and conducive. So one of the ways we do that is by having a student code of conduct. And that document is on our website at this website on the bottom of your screen. The code of conduct is quite lengthy, makes for great bedtime reading, or you can just browse it if you're interested in searching for a particular regulation or a procedure. But what it outlines is what your rights are as a student, what the jurisdiction is of the college around enforcing certain rules, and what we will do if we receive a report that appears to look like an allegation or a violation of one of our policies. And then it has the definitions of those regulations and so forth. I want to encourage anyone who wants to make a report to do so. Again, the form for submitting a report is available on this same website, and it includes more than the really blatant, obvious violations. It could include concern for a student, or you're worried about somebody and you think they might need some outreach and some intervention. It could be that you saw something that looked bizarre. If you see something, say something. That is the bottom line. And that allows us to follow up, ask questions, do investigations, and find out what's going on. We do have emergency guides posted throughout the campus, and we do have a number of phone numbers available for emergency or urgent response. Of course, 911 is always your first call if there is a life-threatening situation. And our village police in all of our campus locations are very rapid responders and very solid partners in keeping our campuses safe. But we also have an administrator on call, and that phone number is available to any member of our college community. If you aren't sure what to do and the situation feels really urgent, that number is responded to 24/7. And then for our Saranac Lake students who do live on campus, we also have an RA, the on duty, who is trained by Angela, who you just met, to respond to a number of different emergencies. And behind them is a professional staff member to support them when they get calls or to respond to things that may be in need of response at the halls. We encourage you to register your vehicle online so that we can be aware of whose vehicles are on campus. There is no additional fee for registering your vehicle. It's just helpful for us to know in case a vehicle is stuck in a snowbank or parked in a way that is obstructing traffic, whatever the case might be. If we know whose vehicle it is, then we can avoid a towing situation. We also have student ID cards available. And what we ask that you do to get a card is follow the instructions at this website and upload a photo of yourself to your Office 365 account. And then our technology team in IT will take that picture and put it onto an ID card for you to either pick up on campus, or they can mail it to you if you're an online student. And if you have any difficulty uploading your photo, let us know. There are step-by-step instructions on the website, but just let us know if for whatever reason it's not working for you. And then lastly, we do have a committee that includes students, faculty, and staff. And so this committee is dedicated to talking about safety issues, making recommendations to our college administration to review and to make plans for continually improving the safety of our campus. Anybody have questions so far about campus safety? Okay. Let's see here. Next is Title IX. So this is a federal law that you may or may not have heard of. And it's kind of been big in the news recently over the last couple of years because Title IX, it was sort of originally known as a federal law to provide equity in athletics around gender. But it's been expanded. The interpretation of Title IX has expanded over the years, and it also includes protections for students who are pregnant or new parents of a newborn that's under 12 months of age. And it also includes protections around individuals who have experienced sexual or interpersonal violence. And so the college provides training around affirmative consent. We have options for disclosure if someone experiences something that they think has violated their Title IX rights. And that incident report I talked about a few minutes ago is one of the ways students can report. You can also go and talk to an employee that you trust at the college, and they will get you in touch with me to find out what happened and to go through your options. And then we also have a SUNY resource called Savor, which gives students the ability to look up resources in the community that may be helpful, including confidential counseling, sane nursing services, whatever the case might be. So that service is also available to the entire SUNY system. And one of the hats that I wear at the college is the Title IX coordinator. So if you become pregnant or you're a new parent, we'll be corresponding about your accommodations in that status. If you end up reporting any kind of experience around sexual misconduct that occurred while you were one of our students, I will support you through that and your options. And then, of course, we have our equity in athletics already in place, but any kind of report or need for support in this area, I'm here for you. The other area another hat that I wear at the college is to support our faculty, staff, and our students in sustaining an inclusive and equitable community. We value diversity. It's part of our strategic plan. We take reports of bias-related harassment very seriously. We have a number of faculty, staff, and students who serve on a diversity task force, and we talk about ways to continually improve our campus culture. And we, are continually implementing new initiatives, including in the last couple of years, we launched a preferred name change request policy and procedure as one example of something that we did to improve the experience of our students. So we are very committed to this, and we invite our student body to be part of continuing to talk about ways to move forward and identify issues that may or may not be present currently. And then I think we're nearing the end of our session here. Thank you for sticking around. And before we all sign off, or if anyone has individual questions they want to stick around at the end to talk about, I wanted to point out at the very end of our homepage on the web, there's a very important green box that includes a lot of quick links that you're going to use quite frequently. One of them is the student portal that we talked about earlier, where you'll access your schedule, your student account bill, your financial aid award letter. So that's in that student portal, and you'll use your college credentials to log in. There's also a quick link to Blackboard. We talked about that as the learning management system. And then this webmail is your access to your college email and Office 365. Those are the ones I wanted to point out right now. There's also the library, the college catalog, an employee directory, all kinds of things that we know students frequently need quick access to. So with that, I want to pause and ask if anybody has questions they want to type in to the chat or ask out loud.